Hey guys, welcome to Atlantic Ocean Watch on YouTube. Today we're going to talk about an article from First Class Watches talking about water resistance ratings, what meters, ATM, bar, and so forth means. The music on this video, by the way, with the exception of the intro and the outro, are from Epidemic Sound. Thank you for watching Atlantic Ocean Watch on YouTube, TikTok, and of course Instagram. Let's get into it. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Okay, so this is again is a guide to watch water resistance by Neve McCullough. June 15th, 2021 is when the article was written. I'm not going to read the whole article to you, but I'm going to read some key parts to you and kind of help you get a better idea of what you're looking at. And this article, I think, does a good job of that, and hopefully it'll help you out. I'll leave a link in the description so you can read this in its entirety for yourself. But it says, for many watch collectors, water resistance is one of the most important elements to consider when selecting a timepiece. The water resistance rating of a watch will affect how and when it can be worn and how much care it will require. And it talks about different, lifestyles, that kind of thing. So, what is water resistance? Water resistance refers to how well a watch will cope. However, the depth rating that is used to measure water resistance does not refer directly to how deep in the water a watch will be able to go. See, what you guys have to understand, and this is talking about this a little bit in there, and there's other articles out there too talking about it, but when they're testing these watches, they usually do it at a factory or a manufacturing facility, and they do like a static pressure test, which is good, but when you add things like movement to it, it actually can increase the pressure, and the other dynamic changes that happen underwater. You also kind of want to consider, but I'm not going to get too deep into that. But here is kind of the meat of what I want to talk to you guys about. You'll hear ATM, you'll hear bar, you'll hear meters often used, and of course you guys can convert that to feet if you want to, but I like how they put this. They say 1 bar equals to around 10 meters, so it's easy to convert the units. Atmosphere often shown as ATM and bar are both units of pressure. They are approximately equal and are often used interchangeably. Now I want to talk to you about something that's not directly in here, but like when you're purchasing stuff, especially from like AliExpress or maybe somewhere from overseas somewhere, keep in mind that they'll say things like everyday use water resistance, and you might see a watch that has like a 5 ATM rating or something like that, like, or you might see something that says it'll go 5 meters in the water or something real low like that. And typically, for me, if I see something like that, and I know I'm just not going to get it wet too much, I'm not going to try to wash my hands with it, even though they'll say things like it's, everyday waterproof, like you can wash and shower with it. I would be a little bit leery about doing that, because depending on the pressure and the temperature when it hits the water and the way it's manufactured, because usually that's cheaper watches. And I know we do budget watches, but I try to show stuff that hopefully is some, has some quality to it for what you're paying for. But just be leery of those kinds of everyday waterproof type of comments that they tend to make when you're getting stuff sometimes from AliExpress, a little bit from Amazon, and also from different manufacturers' websites that are out there. But it says, if the watch is said to be strictly water resistant, it is likely that it is resistant to very small amounts of water. They mention range, flashes, that kind of stuff. So let me kind of give you guys a comparison about ratings again, so you have a better understanding. 30 meters, 3 bar, or 3 ATM. Okay, the meters, you guys should probably be able to figure that out pretty easily. It says 3 bar, or 3 ATM, or 3 atmosphere, basically. A watch with a water resistance rating of up to 30 meters, 3 bar, 3 ATM can withstand small accidental flashes. It will be very similar to a watch that is said to be simply water resistant, right? So something like that, you know, pretty much for me, I'm not trying to get that wet, or I might ruin it. 50 meters, 5 bar, 5 ATM. Here it's like, you might see like some pilot's watches, because usually a pilot's not going to get wet unless of course you're going like a seaplane, right? You're not worried about getting wet, right? You're worried about other things with the watch, with a pilot's watch, like legibility, for example. So you might see something like 50 meters with like, you know, pilot's watches, something like that, because you're not really able to really get those wet really. But for watch around 50 meters, 5 bar, 5 ATM, you can take it in the shower. You can do like light swimming, and it's saying to avoid sudden pressure changes. And diving, no. 100 meters, 10 bar, 10 ATM. This is like really the lower limit of any kind of inkling of a dive watch. For swimming, snorkeling, I guess you could use it for like light diving, because if you're snorkeling, I mean, you're gonna probably, you know, go under for a little bit. So I'd say light diving. 200 meters, 20 bar, 20 ATM. When you get to this point, you're pretty much at a watch that's actually a dive watch, a professional dive watch. You can use it for all kinds of water sports. You can use it for diving and so forth. 300 meters, 30 bar, 30 ATM, or 30 atmospheres. This is for like high impact water sports. Like if you want to be out doing jet skiing or something like that, something crazy, you're trying to do some, you know, diving or something more adventurous out on the water, you probably want to get a watch that's built for that. Again, this one on my wrist is built for 1,000 meters, and I have a couple other watches too that are built for like 200. I think one for 300 I have somewhere, and I have another 1,000-meter Deutschmeister that I also own. And then of course it gives tips for maintenance, which I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but one of the key things that you want to remember to do is a lot of these watches have screw-down crowns, like this Addies Dive that was on my last video. And so you want to make double sure you screw down the screw-down crown. Now the feel in your fingers, everybody's fingers are different, right? The feel might be different one timepiece to another. So one might screw down very smoothly, one might have more of a, almost like a grindy feel, one might have like a feel where you really almost can't feel it at all. Like you just like, man, I really can't really feel if it's all the way in. And you know, just do the best you can to make sure it's screwed all the way down. You do want to be careful when you're screwing down the screw down crown. This part's not in there, but I'm just from my own experience. You do want to be careful that you don't over tighten it, because you could over tighten it, then of course you can't easily get this unscrewed. Got to use a pair of pliers, and then you'll possibly damage your timepiece. So they give several watches at different price points. For example, they mentioned the Radio Captain Cook. For example, they mentioned this watch here, and they mentioned a few others as well. One of the ones that I'd be interested in is a Squale Medic Light blue leather, automatic, blue dial, brown leather strap. Squale. I've heard Squale's name thrown around from TGV, the Urban Gentry, on YouTube, and I love his shows. I love his shows, by the way. Different. I like that. And he's mentioned Squale a couple of times, and I very much like his reviews. So definitely subscribe to him. Of course, subscribe to me. Hit the like button. and if you wish, notification bell, so you want to upload new videos to this channel, but also go check them out too. I like this stuff a lot. But Squale is definitely a brand that I want to eventually get my hands on. You know, this is Longines, so they've got all kinds of different watches in this article from First Class Watches. I think you might want to take a look at and do your own research and see if it's something that you might be interested in. One more thing too that it talks about in here is talks about cleaning your watch. And just like when I leave the beach here at Chesapeake Beach, I know some people will say Ocean Park, but most of us call this whole area Chesapeake Beach, but whatever. When I leave this area here, the Lynn Haven Boat Ramp and Beach Facility here at Virginia Beach, I'm going to either go shower off my body or go shower off when I get home. It's kind of one of the things that I like to do, of course, with my watches is, you know, rinse them off, because you're gonna get sand and other stuff before it's water or whatever's in the water on your watch. And if you rinse it off, it will help it to last longer. And of course, after you rinse it off, you know, make sure you dry it off pretty good, that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to make this hopefully short video. Y'all know I'm long-winded, sorry, but I'm trying to work on that. But short video so that if you're new to watches, you have a better idea of what you're looking at when you're browsing through Amazon, or when you're browsing through AliExpress, or you're on Invicta's website, or you're on you know, Ocean Classics website or something like that, and you're trying to get an idea of how deep the watch can go, you know, how durable as far as water resistance is the watch, so you make the best possible purchasing decision for your hard-earned money.